What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, guys, we're going to do a little bit more of a deep dive into the white paper again, just choosing and picking certain sections that I am going over. In this specific video, we're going to cover the clearing of plots, and then probably more importantly, time crystals and the role that they will play not only if you got the starter package, but ongoing. So you can see here we have to clear plots, and plots with castles and keeps are the only things that do not need to be cleared and can begin producing right away. Although castles and keeps don't really produce, they just tax other land. So we need everybody. We need everybody to clear. So we need everybody to clear so we can start producing in the first place. So clearing plots, as with all construction projects, will require a certain amount of production points to complete. So the time required to complete will be simply the total PP, production points required, divided by the PP generated per hour by the cards. So as we look at this, now everybody's production points are going to be completely different, right? So it's going to be hard for me to go in and try to just speculate on how long it's going to take you. I mean, we could look, and maybe I'll save this for a separate video. We could look at like specifically a common plot with only common maxed Chaos Legion monsters or reward cards or whatever the case is, how long that would take, because it would take a significant amount of time. But I actually want to focus in on how much DEC it's going to require for the time crystals. So if you got the starter package, and that is the assumption we're going to go on right now, you did get 150 time crystals, which will allow you to clear 1.5 million production points, right? It's going to help you essentially just, if you have a common plot, you're clear right off the bat with your common plots. You are clear and ready to go. If you have anything more than a common plot, meaning a higher rarity or a common plot that has magical or occupied properties, it's going to take significantly longer. So the question then becomes, well, how much is it going to be? Because one thing that was talked about early on, but I know when I was going through the white paper, I completely missed this on the first go around, or maybe they didn't have it there. And this is kind of like a living, breathing thing. So this might have been added. Although they do have a revision history here. So nope, I just missed it. Is the time crystal section. And we saw this section, but here is the important part. So time crystals will be tradable and transferable, but time crystals will also be available to purchase at any time from the local castle. What does that mean? By burning 100 DEC or DECB token. So the name time crystals may change. Now, if we're burning the DEC, I don't think that actually goes to the castle. I think it's just kind of like a lore thing. But if castle owners get, a small piece of that, I'm good for you. I don't have a castle, but that'd be pretty awesome if that's the case. But it sounds like 100 DEC are going to be burned for each time crystal. So you can see here, if you got the starter package, you essentially got 150 time crystals for 10,000 DEC, or if you're able to get it with vouchers or DECB specifically, you got it for even cheaper than 10,000 DEC, right? In terms of like the equivalent value. Whereas now, if you want to go in and buy, for example, another 150 time crystal tokens, that's going to cost you 15,000. So, you essentially saved, like it was like buy one, get half free if you went through with the starter package. So shout out to everybody who did that. And yeah, so what I want to just take a quick look at here is going back to the clearing plots section. And most people, right? Most people are going to need to figure out like, okay, well, how much more will I need? So just starting small, we're going to go vertically first and then horizontal. I'm going to bring out the calculator here. So there, let's say you got a rare plot. Let's say you got lucky, you didn't get common, you got a rare plot. That's 150,000 production points more than what a common would be. And so you can use your time crystals, but you'd still need 150,000 production points. And then if you divide this by, 10,000? Yeah. 10,000, which would mean you need 15 time crystals, right, to clear the remaining 150,000. You multiply that by 100 DEC, and that is 1,500 DEC. So it's like $1.50. It's not terrible to go from common to rare. But where I really want to see it come into play is if you were to, let's say you got a legendary land instead of a common, right? You would need an additional 1.5 million. So we could, I'm just going to use the calculator because I know I messed up my math when I did it mentally in the last video. So divide this by 10,000, 150. So you multiply this by the 100. and that's 15,000 DEC. It's roughly $15 in addition to the time crystals that you would have gotten in the starter package. And then, I mean, you know, if you want to go horizontally, let's say you got a common plot that's occupied, that's going to be significantly more, right? So, what is this? 7.5 million divided by 10,000. I guess I don't really need 75,000 DEC. I guess I don't really need the calculator for that. You can essentially figure it out from here how much it's going to be. But the maximum amount, let's say you got a legendary occupied plot. Again, I just want to see 18 million. Oops, divided by 10,000. I know, easy numbers, right? Times 100. So you need 180,000 DEC to do it from scratch. Again, you could cut out 15,000 DEC from this, so 165,000 if you had a starter package. But you know, it's not necessarily too expensive, but it's also not cheap if you got one of the higher higher rarity or a magical or occupied plot. Now, what gets me really excited about time crystals for the future, because this is just a one-time thing in Land Phase 1.5, but in the future, this brings in some of the Web 2 elements, which I really, really like. And I know people are going to look at this and be like, oh, Web 2, we don't want that. But it's really not Web 2. The Web 2 part of it is just the aspect of, if you're impatient or you have capital and you want to move forward and get your land cleared or your buildings built faster than they normally would be, well, then you could pay for it, right? In the same way that you can pay with a lot of like Web 2 mobile games specifically is what I'm thinking of. So you can pay for it. It's going to cost you. And the best part is that it's not going to the company. You know, Splinterlands, the company is not receiving any of this as revenue. It is all going towards the economy by burning DEC. So it's going to be yet another awesome DEC sink in the future. And I just hope that, you know, once Land Phase 2 comes out, we'll be able to use this and people will use it significantly in order to start building up their land over time. Now, I do wonder, can something like this be integrated in guilds as well? Because guilds have buildings, but the buildings are upgraded with DEC. I wonder if we'll ever see a shift for guilds overall, and maybe like a overhaul or a revamp in the guilds, maybe even using, and this is where things could potentially get interesting, if they try to do some crossover with guilds in the future with land, where you could use, well, not really like crossover of guild and land, but crossover of using the time crystals as a resource, where you could buy from your local castle, right, time crystals to then help level up your guild buildings, because maybe your guild buildings will require something, right? Maybe it'll require monster staking, right? Infinite monster staking, if that's going to be, oh wait, that infinite monster staking was going to be a thing on land. So I'm getting stuff mixed up here, but I do want to see more stuff with guilds, and I would love to see time crystals potentially have more utility in other areas of the game outside of just land. I know land is where it's probably going to be used the most, but you know, I'm all for people burning as much DEC as possible to get ahead in the game. So that is all I have for you guys in this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think that this is a fair price, 100 DEC for a time crystal and the amount of production points that it's going to provide you? Or, you know, should it be cheaper? Should it be more expensive? Are you happy about the fact that it's being burned? Should it be going to the DAO? Would love to get your thoughts in the comments below. I will catch you all in the next video and see you around the game. Take care.